friends though. Difference of opinions got them switching like the seasons. Never seen it coming, politics the only reason. Gotta pick a side, red or blue, what you bleeding. They say hands up, so they shoot you while you leaning. Knee inside your neck, you a threat because you breathing. We want some respect, all we get is bloody seasons. When we ask them why they claiming human is the reason.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Weird Perspective podcast. My name is Derry, and today I am joined with a woman that has she's changing lives. She's impacting Chicago, the West Side. I don't know if she's spreading her wings and going to other neighborhoods, but she's here on the West Side in Austin. A woman that I feel like everybody should know. I heard a little bit of her story and I was like, I got to get you on the podcast. You got to come on here and talk about this. A woman that has gone through some trials and tribulations, but God has brought her out and she is thriving, living. I want y'all to welcome to the channel, Miss Dr. Crain.
Thank you.
Oh man, welcome. I'm super excited to have you on today. And we really just want to hear your story. I want you to share it and talk about it. But before we get into that, how you doing?
I'm blessed.
Good?
I am blessed.
Mm-hmm.
I am reminded that this day I am to give God all the glory because the Lord went before me to take that cross.
Amen.
All right, so I'm blessed.
Amen. So, and we're just gonna dive right in. And so, how did you how deep you want to go today? You want to go, how far back can we go? What you got time for?
Go for it.
Let's
go for it.
Okay. So I want to go back to the beginning. Let us know about, well, first, what do you do now? And what does that look like? So you have a doctor in front of your last name, so you kind of important out here. So what do you do? What do you do?
So I am actually retired from work. So now I give 90% of my time in my life to volunteering. I am very involved in the Austin community, specifically with the 15th District Police Department. I am a part of their faith-based committee, and I co-chair the youth subcommittee. So I am able to partner with a number of organizations in the community, bring people together, work closely with youth, and help them to discuss their vision for the future, as well as make it happen. So I enjoy just diving in and helping out.
First of all, I want to address, how did you able to retire in this economy?
God. It's all God. It is all God. I take no credit. I was working at a hospital for the government, and it was a situation where the atmosphere was so toxic. And it was just completely opposite of my spirit, to where it started to impact me negatively. And because of my time with the service and because of things that I was just experiencing with that organization, I had a mentor tell me, put your paperwork in and trust God. Put your paperwork in and trust God. And that's exactly what I did. I was able to walk away from work at 44.
Wow. 44.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to be there with you when I'm 44. Oh, man. That's why people need to like and subscribe to this channel. So maybe it could blow up and I can retire and just focus on this full time.
Absolutely.
Well, tell me about your time in Chicago growing up. What part of the city were you from?
So west side of Chicago, we lived in Maywood, Bellwood, but majority of the time is the west side of Chicago. We are actually still in the building that my grandparents had purchased. Oh. So we've been in this building over 50 years.
Wow.
And they purchased it with the inheritance from my great-grandparents.
Wow.
So it was passed down to my mom, and my mom passed away in 2017, and she passed it down to me and my sisters.
Okay.
So we have kids who have kids. So we literally have had 5 different generations
Wow.
within this property. So we are vested, heavily vested in the Austin community.
Talk about leaving an inheritance for your children's children. That's great. That's great. And so your experience in Chicago, in Maywood, that's the little west suburb, but it's still the west side. What was your experience like growing up?
It was interesting, I would say. I grew up at a time where kids went outside to play with each other. We rode our bikes up and down the street. We never wanted to be inside. We always wanted to be outside doing something. And friends were important, like super important. So it was fun at times. I ended up kind of going down on the wild side, and I say that because I was pregnant at 14. I had my daughter at 15. And from there, everything just kind of sped up. Life started lifing for real. And I knew that in order to still graduate and raise my daughter, I had to change my thinking, and I had to change my ways because I was no longer a kid anymore.
Wow.
I'm a mama now.
Yeah. Did you grow up in a 2-parent household? What was the family dynamic like?
So I grew up with my mom and my stepdad. I met my father, and I say met my real father and remembered him. My sisters are all like, oh, he was around when you were 4. And of course, I don't remember that. But I met him and remembered him when I was pregnant at 15. I was outside still playing. I was still a kid. So I was outside playing and talking with my friends. And I remember my mom calling me down the street and was like, Toya, come here. So I see this man standing on the porch. I'm thinking nothing of it. And I walk up and she's like, you know who this is? I'm like, no. She's like, this is your father. And I'm like, oh, hi. Can I go back and play now? How you doing? Thanks for coming around. But at that time, Derry, I'm like, it's too late. At that time, I just had that feeling of I had done so much and been through so much to where now I had that feeling of I needed you around a long time ago.
Yeah.
I needed you to be consistent a long time ago.
Yeah.
So now with being pregnant, what can you tell me? It was just like that feeling of what can you tell me?
Yeah.
I'm here now.
Don't come around here telling me all the stuff you should have told me before I got into this situation.
Okay, exactly.
I'm here now.
Exactly.
So, that's interesting. That dynamic. So my father was very inconsistent in my life. I knew who he was my whole life. Him and my mom got divorced. I believe I was 5 or 6 when they got divorced, and then he was very sporadic in my life. And then when I was 19, we had a conversation because I had a daughter, and I was just like, don't do to them, don't do to her what you did to me. If you're gonna be here, be here.
Yeah.
Don't have them fall in love with their grandfather and then they start asking about you, you never around. So either be here or don't be here. But yeah, I used to get in trouble because I wanted my dad's attention. 'Cause I knew my mom would call him. So I was like, I'll take this whooping if he gonna come over. You know what I'm saying? So just very different response to my dad. But you sound like you didn't have the what we see in TV shows and movies when the kid meets his dad and it's just like, oh, they sit down and they talk and they express how they feel. It was like, oh, what's up? Peace. I'm finna go.
That's it. Can I go back down the street? Because I was really having fun down there talking to my friends.
Like, who's this guy?
Yeah. And even from then, I don't feel like it ever grew into the TV show relationship. It wasn't like, oh my God, he came back around and I've just been longing for my father. It was at that age and stage, I was like, hey, I guess I'll see you
Yeah.
When you come back, and if you come around, then I'll talk to you whenever. But it wasn't a longing, lost feeling that I felt like I needed in my life.
Got you. Did you you had a good relationship with your stepfather?
It was decent.
Okay.
You know, it was respectable. It wasn't always that respectable. I will say that. You know, it's hard. He was, you know, the father of my youngest sister. So it was definitely hard at times because I'm the middle kid. And you know how that goes. You know, the oldest is the reflection of mother, you know, and the youngest get whatever they want. And then the middle kid is like, you're supposed to be good because you're just supposed to be good. You know, I shouldn't have any problems. But
I don't think we talk about that enough. And in my family, so I got 5 kids. I got 3 daughters, and then I have 2 boys. The daughters are older. So I had 3 girls first and then 2 boys. And my middle child, she is the responsible one. I don't think we put like pressure on her. I don't believe me and my wife ever treated any of them different. They're 17 months apart. My oldest and my second. But she's just naturally responsible. Like even now, like she's getting baptized tomorrow. I have the honor of baptizing my daughter.
Yeah.
Thank you. But it's like she reads the Bible. I don't be like, did you read? Did you pray today? Like I walk in her room and she's there. She's reading it, or she's listening to the Street Light Bible app. And she's just naturally responsible. I don't have to check in with her with homework. My oldest, different, right? The youngest daughter, different. And then my boys, they're a whole nother thing. But yeah, that middle child, something about that middle child. We got to figure out what's going on with the middle child. Adam, was your experience like that? I know you don't got a mic, but.
I do got a mic.
You do got a mic. Okay.
Yeah. I set myself up.
Because you got 2 brothers that you grew up with, and then you got a little sister.
Yeah.
How was the middle child?
Well, technically, I guess I'm the middle child. So,
It's not Andrew?
I guess him and I are both middle child. I don't know.
But between the boys.
Oh, it would be Andrew. Yeah, I'm the youngest, so I feel like I'm more responsible than he is. But I don't know. He might say the opposite. So.
Okay. Yeah, I hear that a lot with the middle child. But I guess it all too depends on the type of household that you grew up in as well.
I definitely feel like when I was growing up, you heard of the black sheep. You know, like the middle child was considered like the black sheep of the family. And as the middle child, I felt like I spent a lot of time making sure that I was not that stereotype. So I did a lot of pleasing and appeasing, especially because I was pregnant young, and you know that was already like a strike in so many ways. Growing up in a Christian family, you know, you're supposed to be married, you're supposed to be celibate, and now I'm pregnant and I'm 14. So it wasn't, you know, the easiest thing. But I felt like after that, that's when the drive kicked in to be better and just do better and should just prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
Not accept the labels that everybody else was trying to give me just because I was the middle child.
I can only imagine, especially back then. You look fast, like oh my goodness.
Oh,
I had some people in my family. I told we will not use that word around me or my kids. We don't play that, like putting labels on young girls because they might be a little bit more developed, or they might look a certain way, and then you start labeling them, and it's like they're not even doing none of that. So, like, we gotta make sure we protect our kids, especially black girls that are overly sexualized anyway. We gotta make sure that we guard them when it comes to that. Oh, yeah. I do want to talk about though, how was the church experience when they found out you were pregnant? You're going to church. Did the church come around you? Did they condemn you? What was that experience like?
So at that time, I was not really in church. Now I was in all-girl private school.
Oh, okay.
So
was that a Christian girl private school?
Yeah, the private Christian. Yes, yeah. And I will never forget. I am in the office, I'm in there with the assistant principal and my mom, and we got to tell the school I'm pregnant. And the lady looked at me, and literally, now that I'm actually thinking about this, you bring it back memories for real. She literally looked at me and asked me, "Did he rape you?" Oh yeah. She literally, and I was just looking like, what? No. What do you mean? Did he rape me? No.
Did she know the man or something? Like
no. Like she didn't even know him, But it was just that immediate, just distant. It was just like, you're pregnant. Like, how did you get here? Like, you had to be taken advantage of. Like you're a Catholic girl. You're in Catholic school. Like, you just had to be taken advantage of. But once I said no, he didn't rape me. I did it on my own. Then she was like, okay, well, you can't stay here.
Oh, not the kicking you out.
Oh yes, I got kicked out. I got kicked out.
There goes the village coming around to help and support. No. Because at that stage, again, we're talking about 1992, 91, 92. At that stage, that was an abomination. We cannot allow this fast little thing in our good old all girls. She's going to contaminate all the other girls with her belly.
Exactly. Okay, you bringing in that evilness on you. We can't have you up in here around this other
pregnant
girl.
Spirit on you.
Hey, okay, because you are going against our doggone rules. Yes. So I got kicked. Well, they didn't say kicked out. They told me that I couldn't stay there while pregnant. Now, I was welcome to come back after it was over.
What does that mean?
But I could not come back. I couldn't be there while I was pregnant.
Be here while I'm pregnant.
Nope.
Is this like insurance, liability purposes? Like, why? What did me being pregnant got to do with people learning? I still can learn.
Literally.
I'm pregnant.
Literally.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So I ended up going to a maternity alternative school.
Okay. I heard alternative school. I never heard of the maternity.
It was the place. It was up on it was downtown. I used to live the home that I lived in because, again, I grew up in a good old Christian family life, okay? I ended up being sent away from my family to go and stay in a maternity home because, again, you're 14 and pregnant. That is a bad look on a family, okay? So you need to go and hide. But honestly, for me, it was the best thing ever. It was the best thing ever. The home that I stayed in had all pregnant women of all ages. So it wasn't just young teens. It was older adults there too. And it was a comforting setting. It was different from what I was currently dealing with because I was dealing with the shame, the humiliation, the labeling, and everything else. So I needed to get out of that atmosphere so that I didn't go down the wrong rabbit hole of accepting everything that everyone was trying to give me and living with that pressure and putting that pressure on my unborn child.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing.
Did your mom, did she like push you towards that, or was it just like these are options and you get to choose?
Well, my mom wanted to send me down to St. Joseph, all the way down St. Joseph, Illinois, where it is the Bible Belt.
The Bible Belt.
Okay, and they were nice people. I mean, she drove me on down there, her and my stepdad. I remember the cornfields as we were driving, and we show up, and it's this beautiful, beautiful home. I mean, sprawling home in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere. And I pull up, and this nice little white family come out, and then a couple of other folks start coming out, and they were black and brown, and I'm like, dog, where are we at? So I say hi, and then my mom is like, you'll be staying with them for a while. I was like, okay, alrighty.
And they just put it on, like they ain't tell you, like, but I didn't have a conversation before then. Like,
listen, what was I gonna say? No.
But at least sit you down. It's like,
Oh,
look,
stop.
this where you finna go. This why you going there. Like, even if they ain't gonna give you the options to choose, but just to be like, let me take this drag, get in the car, and then you pull up and you
Let's
like,
go.
that's where you going.
Let's go.
What?
Let's go. I got out. Now, I did know I was going somewhere because, you know, I had to pack a bag.
Right.
Okay. How long I was supposed to stay there?
Wow.
And again, the idea was to go to this place, and this was a Christian environment, and I was going to go have my baby, and, you know, they had the church in the barn. So it was very small. It was, again, a beautiful home, beautiful people. But I feel like after a couple of days, I was like, yeah, you need to come get me. Hey, I get it.
How many other 14 teenagers?
It was, how many of us was in there? I want to say maybe there were 8 of us total.
Okay.
And a number of them that were there were not keeping their children. They were going to be giving the babies,
Up for adoption.
up for adoption. And I was like, nah, like, I can't stay here. I feel unfunny, just uneased about being here. So I started looking for other places to go, and I found the place that I ended up going to, set up the whole thing, and they came and got me, and she told me I'd go stay over at the other spot.
Wow. Can I ask, where is the child's father during this time?
With his mom. Yeah, he was 14 as well, so he ain't know no better either.
So he was just like, whatever you gonna do. He don't know. He ain't got a plan. He don't be like,
Not at all.
Okay.
No. And neither one of us, like, really had a plan. Like, neither one of us had any clue
yeah.
on what we were going to do next, or what next even was going to look like.
Yeah.
All we know is we made a boo-boo. We made a boo-boo.
So I'm the baby. My mom had me and my sister, and then I have 2 other brothers on my dad's side. And my sister also was pregnant early. So she was 13 or 14 when she got pregnant. And my mom was like very hands-on. So you're staying here. We're going to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? The dad was around. I think she got pregnant when he was dealing with some family issues. I think my mom brought him in to stay with us. I don't know all the details. I'm 6 years younger than my sister.
Okay.
But I know I was an uncle at 8. And so I knew how to change diapers. And it wasn't even like me being an uncle. It was me being like, this is my little brother. Mm-hmm. Because for the first, I want to say, 8 years of his life, they lived with us. And so I was there changing diapers, taking them to school, stuff like that. So I was around. I was a young uncle. And so watching things from, you know, even though I was on the inside, but from the outside looking in, like the experience with my sister and stuff like that, we had a big community, like friends and stuff like that. And so she always wanted to go outside. And I just think my mom did the best she could with, like, allowing her to be a kid at the same time. But also kind of like holding her accountable to, like, you're a mother now, and there's responsibilities and stuff like that. And so I know for me, I couldn't imagine being a dad at 14. What you mean I gotta turn this? I can't play PlayStation all day. What are you talking about? Not just waking up Saturday morning cartoons and just chilling, eating cornflakes and whatever. Like,
and mind you, this was early 90s, so we
Yeah.
ain't had no PlayStation. You wasn't chilling with the PlayStation.
Oh, my
goodness. We wanted to go outside and be in stuff. Okay, so now you telling me I got to carry this baby with me?
Yeah.
Oh, no. You know, like, oh, now you telling me I can't go and do what? Because, yeah.
Yeah. How quick was that switch mentally, like, from being this 14-year-old kid playing to, like, I'm a mother now? Was it instantly while the baby was growing, or was it after you had the baby and it was just like, I can't just run out, I gotta change the diaper, I gotta have bottles, I gotta have the bag ready? When was it?
I think when it kicked in for me was probably in my 3rd trimester, because that, you know, the baby's moving, I'm getting bigger. And remind you, I'm in the maternity home. So I'm around other women who, who are equally growing and things like that. So that's when it kicked in for me, that I couldn't go back to the idea of I'm a kid. I couldn't go back to the idea of I could just go outside and play. There is no more, let's just ride our bikes up to the park and let's hang out all day. And I know that I have to take this child with me wherever I go.
Yeah.
And again, at that time, because, I was still young, she actually stayed with her dad and his mother and his family. Oh. Yes. So my mom was very clear on, hey, I'm working. I ain't raising no babies. I done did my part. I ain't raising no kids. What you gonna do? So we actually ended up going to court and doing temporary custody paperwork for my daughter to her dad's mom.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was and they live right across the street. So that was the beauty of it. It wasn't like she was states away or, hours or something away. They lived on the same block. They lived across the street. So I can always see her. I could spend time with, all of that. But I think after that, it was game on. After I had her, I was working 2 jobs. I worked at McDonald's and Walgreens. And then I was still going to private school. So I ended up going back to the private school. Okay. The same one that put me out.
You got the baby is gone. All right, come on.
Yeah, you can come on back.
Wild.
Congratulations, I guess. Go to class. so simple. So I was able to go back. But it was game on. 2 jobs, school. I had to buckle down. And I
no labor,
became
no
serious.
child labor laws back then?
No. And actually my first job at McDonald's, I was 15. I had when I got hired, I think I had a week and a half before my birthday and when I was turning 16. So I ended up just holding off on giving them all my paperwork. And was oh yeah, I got to go down to the Social Security office and get the card. I got to get a copy of the birth certificate. I just held off. So then finally when I turned 16, I was here's all my paperwork. I'm ready. Mind you. So I was literally working at McDonald's for a week and a half as a 15-year-old.
That's crazy. The fact that they let you even start before they
sure
before
did.
They even got the paperwork. They crazy.
Sure did.
Oh man. So what does life look like from 15 to 18? Is it the consistent 2 jobs, school? What does life look like for you during that time?
It was consistent 2 jobs. The only difference is I started going to school year round. So I went to night school. I went to summer school. Whoa. I went to any type of school I can get into.
You're trying to get out early? I
was trying to get out early. And actually, on paper, I graduated at 16. Had enough credits at 16 to graduate. But what I wanted to do was walk the stage with my friends, because I still love my friends. Yeah. And I wanted to walk the stage with them. So I ended up walking the stage with them at 17. Okay. But because I had, all the credits and stuff I needed, I ended up making getting a President's Award.
Wow.
That's what I said. I was who, me?
President's Award.
I was freshman year. I didn't care. Because I didn't want to be there. I'm an all-girls school for real. I got to wear a uniform for real. Come on, man. Yet I needed that all-girls school, to bring some kind of structure and consistency in what was going on in my life at that time. But I ended up making it through, getting awards, and joining the military at 17. So it was back to back.
You could join the military at 17?
You sure can. Now, my mom, the irony in this is I signed custody of my daughter over to her grandmother, her dad's mom. And my mom had to sign custody of me over to the government in order to join at 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was, why did you want to go to the military?
Because I knew sticking around in Chicago wasn't gonna be it. We didn't have money to go to college. Okay, so
You got a president's degree. You ain't get no scholarship?
at that time, my focus was not staying at school some more. It was, I got a kid. I need to make some money. I need to figure this out. So let's make that happen. In the military, I had a friend who had joined the military. She had joined the Navy, and she enjoyed it. She talked about it. I went out and I learned some more about it, and I chose to join the Navy. I needed some consistency. I needed structure. I needed order, and I needed to have a platform where my daughter would have something to look up to and not to compare to.
That's great. So, what did that look like as a mother? Now you're in the military, 17 years old. What does that look? Is your daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Is she still with the grandparents while you're in the military? Okay. Well, talk to us about that.
So I ended up, when I first got in, I went to a ship. So because I was out to sea a lot and I wasn't married, I had to have her somewhere else. Like, it really was a part of the rules in the military that if you were a single parent on the ship, someone had to have custody paperwork of your children, because at any time you could be called to duty. And there was no, I don't have a daycare.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody to watch my kids. That was not an option.
Okay.
So
this is Navy, right?
This is Navy.
This is Navy. Okay. I was gonna go to the Navy. I'll share that later. But go ahead.
So it was, on the first ship, gone a lot. She came out to stay with me. I ended up meeting someone, getting married, and she came to stay, out in California with us. However, I ended up going out to sea, and he ended up getting into a bad car accident because he was drinking. And I had to get flown from the middle of the ocean back home so that I can take care of my daughter and get her back to Chicago, because he wasn't sufficient enough to take care of her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I got so many questions, but I can't answer them all. I can't ask them all. So you being a woman in the Navy, what's that like?
Okay, so I would say this. The Navy added value to my life. It added value to my life. The structure, the discipline, I got it from there. The skills, I got it from there. It really helped to build my character and groom it to who I am today. Now, the other side of that is when I came in, my ship, like my first ship, they had never had women on there. Never. So we were the first batch of women coming on, and I was a firefighter. So my department was all men. And it was a challenge because, again, as a woman coming into a male-dominant service, you had men who already felt like we shouldn't be there anyway. Okay, because now women are there. They can't do what they usually do, which is whatever.
We can't have the bro combos because we gotta be respectful of the women.
No naked posters and stuff all in the office and in your rack area.
Yeah.
No walking around naked. No talking crazy, and so they didn't really like that. So that was a challenge.
They kept y'all all together.
Well, we were broken up. Now, in regards to living quarters, we all had, the same living quarters.
Okay.
Women had their living quarters, the guys had theirs.
Okay.
But in regards to job and duties, no. I was a firefighter. It was me and 2 or 3 other women out of a department of 200-300. So it was different. It was different. So a lot of, trying to calm down and beating the chest, because, guys, y'all like to beat y'all chest. There was a lot of calming down and beating of the chest, but then it was a lot of intimidation to keep up. You know, there's no woman card. They used to say, hey, you can't pull that woman card. This is equal opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, like you pick up that 250-pound pump.
Yeah.
You know, carry that 100-pound hose.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
I wanna get your perspective, being in the military, having to train and work alongside these men who were, I would probably, some of them a lot stronger, bigger than you. What would you say to the movements that have come, that are taking place now, where it's like, women, we can do the same thing as men, you know, we're the same, stuff like that? What would you say to that? How would you speak to that?
Stop doing this comparison game. Like, I shouldn't have to compare myself to the opposite sex, because we're different. That's why it's called opposite sex. So I feel like there is a difference when we're saying, hey, you know, you are a expert in what you do in your field, and I'm an expert in mine, and I can respect that, and we can go about our business. I feel like we get down that rabbit hole when you hear oh, well, the man always gets everything, and I should get everything too, and I can do it better than him, and it's like, well, why do you feel like you have to even go down that road? If you know your strength and your ability, then live in that.
Right.
Not living under the shadow of the perception of what you should be, based off what the man feel you should be. Like, live in your own uniqueness. And if you can lift 500 pounds, baby, pick it up. Okay, pick it up. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah,
and
good.
If you can't lift 500 pounds, be like, excuse me, assistance, please.
Why do I need to lift up 500 pounds?
Exactly.
I'm good with my body weight. I could save somebody. I could lift up somebody. But
Okay,
I don't need to do this 500 pounds.
That's it. All right. So I just said, like, stop with that whole comparison thing. Like, just do you, be you, and love the uniqueness of you.
Nah, that's good. That's good. That's a good take. So, early life, military life. How did your military career end?
Honorable discharge. I was on shore duty. I had finished up shore duty, and I was like, okay, got to make a decision. And at that time when I got out, I was focused on going to medical school. I've always wanted to be a neurosurgeon. Even when I was younger, I knew I wanted to be a doctor. I wasn't sure.
Like messing with brains and stuff.
I wanted to. Well, I mean, neurosurgery is bigger than just the brain. It's bigger than the brain. But
it's nerves and stuff too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And my focus at that time was more around sports rehab. So my grandfather used to love watching sports, and I love my grandpa. So I would watch sports as well. And, you know, that was during the time where football, when you got hit, you got hit.
Yeah, you got hit.
Okay, you got hit.
Yeah, my
Folks
stepdad,
was paralyzed.
His football career ended. He went to Grambling State, and a knee injury took him out. And now today, that same knee injury would have been taken care of. But yeah, back in I believe this was like the 70s is when he was in college. Yeah, they didn't have the science and the technology to do the things that we can do today. So
Right. You know, so I was fascinated with how someone can get hit, and that impacts their cervical cord, you know, their ability to function, and next thing you know, you're paralyzed. Well, my thing was, well, how can we, if it's possible, rejuvenate those nerves? You know, how do we remove the damaged portion of it, reconnect what we can save, and see if we can still get that movement back? I was very focused on the 24-hour kind of recovery, you know, because that 24 hours from the initial hit is crucial. Just it's crucial, because that's when nerves, you know, starts to die. So it's like, how can we go from impact hit to the hospital, do the procedure to save you from having to experience any paralyzed state? So I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. Like I wanted to be in sports medicine. I wanted to be working on a team, going to the games for free. I should have been married to my rich husband by now. I mean, I was like, I had it. And I ended up having a conversation with a mentor of mine when I was got out of the military and went to finish up my bachelor's at Dominican University. And she was like, let's think about this. Like, you have a young daughter, you know, she's growing up. And do you want to spend all of your next 10 years or so away from her, occupied, you know, with medical school and everything else, and coming out of there with like a $500,000 debt? Or do you want to consider something different? You know, you can still be a doctor, you can still do other things, and you can save you a lot of money. You know, so I thought about it, and was like, well, I ain't got 500,000. Okay, so what else can I do?
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so then you decided to go into what you ended up going into, which is.
So my bachelor's was psychology, my master's is social work, and then my doctorate is doctorate of health administration with a specialization in leadership. So I practiced a little bit with social work, enjoyed it for a little. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Overall, I enjoyed it because I enjoy people interaction. I felt like when I was working with people, it wasn't the problem of helping the person. It was the problem with the organization restricting the amount of help I can give. So I started to notice that it was a system issue. It was a system issue. And I wanted to be a part of addressing the systematic problems and fixing it. So my doctorate degree allows me to do just that, to go into a place, any facility, and be the director of the facility.
Okay. Interesting. I'm loving all of this. By the way, this is great because you don't hear these stories where pregnant young had a baby and then you just hear about like all the bad things. You don't hear about like people walking in victory and triumph and overcoming. And I'm pretty sure this was really hard on you as a mom, like being away from your daughter. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, and mind you, I was away from her a good portion of her beginning years, you know, like from 0 to 7 or 8, you know, because at that time I was still in school, I was working, military, sea duty. So I was not able to truly have her stay with me until I got to shore duty. And shore duty was, you know, you go into work like a regular old job and you go home. But that allowed me to be around her a lot more then. But I feel like it was challenging because those years are so crucial, you know, in regards to interaction, meeting needs, setting boundaries, helping them to tap into their identity. So it was a number of times where I felt a little bad, you know, like I knew I was in the military doing the right thing and I knew this was going to set us up for a better future. And yet I still had that guilty feeling of like, man, you know, like when am I actually going to be the mother? Yeah. You know, when am I actually going to step up and be like, this is me full time type of thing. So that weighed on me. That definitely weighed on me. Yeah.
I think some men, I think a lot of men actually, a lot of fathers deal with that because most of us, we work, and some of us might work like long hours. And so not being able to make it to certain events because you're working and you have to work. Like this is what you got your degree in or you got training in, you went to school to get this certification or certificate or whatever it is, and it's just like, man, I work, you know, because I'm trying to give you like a better future than I had, and you got to pay these bills, and then, you know, eggs is a whole nother bill that you got to pay. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like $80. Yeah, it could weigh on you. It could be really hard. So I could imagine you as a mom, especially missing those first 5 years are so important for the child and the mom. Those are the nursing years. My wife has been, I don't know if I would call it fortunate. Well, for her experience with the kids, she's been able to stay home for the most part with all of the kids. Dash is about to go to school, and so now she's going to be free to like go pursue a career or a job and do that full time. But I know for her, she's gonna be in the back of her head like, did he eat lunch? What's he doing? Who's he's around? What are they saying? And she gonna be a nervous wreck for probably the first half of the school year, probably popping up. She probably get a job at the school, knowing my wife, just so she could be around them. And so, but we've been okay, but we haven't always made the best financial decisions because we were trying to be like super involved with being parents, and not knowing how to do that. We didn't have the best mentors to like walk us through this process and understand that there's going to be sacrifice of time and you missing events and missing things because you got to work. Like if you don't work, you don't eat, you can't provide, you can't do these things. And so you want to have to figure it out. Yeah. So do you want to be with your kids every minute of the day? Or you got to sacrifice this 8-9 hours so you can go make this money so you can actually take care of them. And so was your daughter your first, test study with your newfound knowledge in psychology? Did you ask her the questions like, how are you feeling? How are you? Like, how did this affect you growing up? Did you have any hard feelings towards me? Did you guys have those conversations?
So I will say she came to me one time. Now that I want to say she was in college by this time. And she came to me and was, mentioned like, hey, I'm at school. My friends got their moms all around and, got a, different relationship. And, I would like to have a better relationship. Because, again, we grew up 15 years apart. So it was more of like a feeling of my younger sister than it was my daughter because of her being with her grandma a good portion of that time. And when she came to live with me and me getting out of the military, I ended up sending her back to Chicago early so that I can get things all situated. Moved to Chicago. She stayed with me for a little bit, but she was mainly at her grandmother's house. So it was, again, not that typical as you see nowadays of that typical, oh, my mom is my best friend, type of thing. It was more of mother-daughter relationship. Call me when you need something. Make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Follow these orders. So it was us growing up together and learning from each other on how to be and live versus, having a role model to teach me how to do it.
That's good. And so where are you guys now, you and your daughter?
Now we are still daughter, mother-daughter relationship. My big thing is I know I've told her before, even when she was younger, I'm like, I'm not your friend. I'm your mom. Yeah. I'm your mom. So if you want friends, go get friends. Yeah. I want you to be free with your friends, but you can't come kiki and ha-ha and next thing you know, you slipping at the mouth. Yeah. Or you outside your character. Or, I can't do that. I'm your mom. Yeah. So because of that type of upbringing, like I'm your mom, she comes to me when she got questions, we'll talk, time to time. We hang out, like when we got family gatherings. But she's grown, 32. She has a daughter now who's 2. And now she's, learning how to be a mom. So it's always one of those like, hey, I'm here. I'm available. Only a phone call away. And when you call me, make sure it ain't nothing crazy because Jesus is saving me. Okay? All right, deep down.
He's sanctifying me. You're saved already. He's
sanctifying me, Lord. Thank you, Father. Okay, because I got Chi-Town in me, baby, and Chi-Town don't play.
Don't call me with no crazy.
I'm like, I don't want to go and burn nothing down, baby. Just call me with stuff good.
Yeah. How do you set those? How do you set those boundaries? Because I know some parents that they want their kids to be their best friend, and they like live with their kids and they've raising them, and it's just like, you let your kid talk to you like that, or you let your kid do what, or you doing what with your kids? Like, what's some of the boundaries that you like put in place to keep that relationship mother-daughter and don't let the lines cross?
For me, it was more of like feeding her with tools that she can put in her tool belt. So it wasn't the, hey, we ain't friends, don't come to me as no friend, don't talk to me like, it wasn't that. It was more of a, listen, my role as your parent is to help you with the skills you need to be successful in life. So if you having trouble, if you having difficulties and things like that, I'm here, I'm available, come talk to me. But also that boundary of understand that what you say and do with others, you can't do with me because I'm your mother.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was the boundary that was set, the requirement to think before you speak, or before whatever you bring it to me, think about it.
Yeah.
It's because my advice back to you is going to be a motherly advice. It's not going to be your friend. Like, okay, girl, you need to go ahead and tell him to kick rocks. Okay. I was not that kind of overbearing individual. No.
Okay. So I want to get into just your experience as a black woman who's successful in these different areas, and how that has structured or changed, either for the good or the bad, of like who you are as a person. And so we hear a lot about, it's very hard for women, and then how much more harder it is for a black woman in certain fields. How can you speak to that? You could start with college, or after you graduated, getting into your profession. You touched on a little bit with the military already. Wherever you want to start.
So I would say probably more it impacted me when I got the degrees and started in the workforce field. When I jumped into corporate America, that is when the reality slapped me. And it's one of the reasons that led me to putting my paperwork in for retirement. I feel like black women, we are always at the bottom. We're like at the ground level, and sometimes people want to put us at the dirt level. Like we're not even good enough to make it to the ground level. And I did the requirements. I met all the requirements, the American Society requirements. You graduate high school, you go to college, you get a degree, you smile, you do what you're supposed to, you work hard, you put 150,000% in, you always show up, you're consistent. And I did all of that. I met all of American Society requirements. And when I was working with the government, I was the boss over one of the areas. My budget was like 11 to 15 million any given day.
Yeesh.
And it was interesting on how I would sit in those meetings with white folks. Let's just call it what it is.
You the only black woman?
I wasn't the only black woman, but I was the only black boss, female, under the operations kind of, calendar or category for their positions. And I was the youngest. So I'm black. I'm from Chicago. I got a doctorate degree. I'm cute. Let's be clear. I'm cute, okay? And I am in Indiana, all right? And they looking at me like...
I think people don't realize how racist Indiana is.
Oh, my goodness. Indiana, now mind you, Derek, I have been all over this world. The Navy spoiled me with traveling, and now I can't get enough of it, okay? And it was not until I got to Indiana where I was like, whoa, serious? Literally, I was sitting in, now mind you, I'm working for the government, okay? Like, for the government, this is a good job. We were at a restaurant. I got invited to come out, go to this restaurant. I was meeting a couple of other, big time folks. We're going to have dinner, drinks, ha, ha, ha. They used to call it Therapy Thursdays.
Therapy Thursdays.
And I show up. I had to Google map where the heck I was going because I'm new to this place. Show up, we're there, laughing, eating, ha, ha, ha. And I just happened to turn around and look at this huge restaurant we were in. And was like, there is no other person of color in here. So I, again, I'm thinking good people. And I'm like, hey, is it just me? Or am I the only person of color in this whole place? My white executive at that time took his white napkin off his lap, shook it out, called my name, looked me dead in my face, Derry, and put that white napkin over his head. Yes, sir. You heard what I said. We are out in public, in a public restaurant. We work for the government. You're my executive. And you thought that this, and had the audacity to laugh. The audacity to laugh. To him, this was all funny. And he literally, in that moment, I was just like, I was stuck. I was stuck. You know how something happens and you don't even know what to say. Your face is crunched
I don't know
up.
what to say. I'm like, wait, what?
Exactly. My face is crunched up and I'm looking at him and I'm lost for words because now my military kicks in. Military training kicks in. Now, okay, now I need to check my surroundings. I need to make sure I'm on alert.
Yeah.
I need to make sure I'm conscious of what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Who's around. That whole thing just kicks in because now I'm in a position of, now I really got to be concerned about the KKK. Hold on.
I think, isn't Indiana where
Mm-hmm.
the KKK
It sure
was?
is.
Yeah, it is.
It sure is. Jim Crow sure is.
That's
So
wild.
it was just one of those moments of, I need an exit strategy. I need an exit strategy as quick as possible.
You know what's funny? You just said that, and then I was with my son, so he went trucking with me for 2 days. I had my son, he just in the truck with his dad, and we stopped at a spot in Indiana. I didn't think about it as deep as you just sharing that story just made me think about how subconsciously I was watching him in the truck stop that we were at. We were the only black men there. And it didn't seem hostile or anything, but it was just there's a little diner, there's a restaurant, and then we were getting food, and this is how I was just watching everything. So I got there's no make sure walls are behind me, can't nobody do nothing. Just how subconsciously we think about those things when we're in certain environments. The crazy thing is that I learned that from just being in the streets of Chicago. Always having an exit strategy and knowing what a door is. I don't like sitting with my back to the door. I like to see who coming in and out. Yeah. Just things that I've learned. And that's crazy. And so what'd you?
Next day I showed up to work. I was moved. They moved me under somebody else. They put me under a white woman. And then as I'm sitting in her office and having a conversation with her, she literally tells me, I don't know what to do with you.
Wait. Hold on. Rewind. Wait. So he says that. Was there other people at the table?
Yes.
So were you moved because the other people heard, or was that all him moving you?
That was all him moving me.
Did you have any negative interactions with him before, or get any flags that he?
Well, it was pretty clear that his background, his lineage, came from those lines. He used to have a picture of his granddaddy or his great granddaddy like the black and white picture when they're in uniform, military uniform, and they're like standing there holding an old school gun, and they look like they had a hood on at once upon a time in their life.
Wow.
Like, yeah, so he came from that line. And he wasn't blatantly like, I hate you, black girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was those small kind of hidden things of, he wouldn't invite me to the meeting. He took the white intern and completely overlooked, the black educated girl. When it came to big projects, he wanted the white intern, and I was in the office like filing papers. And then my white supervisor, she ended up just telling me, just go find something to do. Like, you're gonna have to go around, do interviews with different services and learn about the services and see what you like and see where you want to go. I was like, okay, really? Because literally, they had no idea what to do. They had no idea, Derry, what to do with this black educated woman who has the ability and freedom to talk.
And could potentially take their jobs. We can't let that happen. Of
course not. Not this good government job.
I appreciate the people who are blatant with their racism or whatever. Just let me know how you feel. All right, so I can know how to move around you. But the quiet ones, the sneaky ones, and then stuff like that happens. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's this? The late 90s?
This was 2000. I got to Indianapolis in 2013. So this was 2013. This
is 2013. People pulling out napkins, putting it on their head. That's crazy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then we so quick to be like, all right, there's no more racism. Like, yeah, all right. Let me move on before I get myself in trouble. I want you to continue on though. With where else have you experienced that, or what other challenges have you ran into as you were moving up in your career?
Well, I mean, I think when you're talking about being a black woman, it's even challenging in relationships. I would have never thought that it would be so difficult to get into a relationship with a black man and it not be about competition.
All right. We got to speak to that. I didn't know we were going to talk about dating, but me and Adam, we have this ongoing discussion for, what has it been, like 2 years now? We've been talking about these dating streets out here are crazy. And I'm going to do that panel this year. Adam, we got to do this panel. I want to do a dating panel where I have singles, guys, and we talk about what is the problem. How come I ain't been to a slam wedding yet? All y'all like each other. I know it. I see it. Get married. Why? Where's my invite? I need this to happen. But yeah, so you being a woman of color, educated, smart, what's going on? What's going on?
I don't even understand it, to be honest with you, because I'm getting a mix. I get a mix of feedback. I've had the person who say, listen, you deserve more, you deserve better. I'm on some stuff, and I know I'm not even. I'm on some stuff. I can't say the word the person used, but it's because but they on some BS.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's easier to be on BS because it allows you to do whatever you want versus being in a relationship where you have to be conscious about what you do and how it impacts me. So I've had the person on BS. I've met the person who, they not fully sound in themselves. They still got stuff they need to accomplish. I still want to get the good job with the great money, and I still need to be making this amount. I've met the person who told me, yeah, you're too smart for me. And I was like, what?
Dudes is doing that?
Yes.
Bro, I'm trying to level up. If I'm single, hey, you can do what? Bet. Let's get it. Like, go be great, and then I'm gonna support you, and I'm gonna be doing my thing too, right?
You would think.
I don't need to match. If you, man, you got doctor in front of your name. I ain't got one of those, but I'm cool, and I'm happy with you being a doctor. Like go do your thing. Like what?
Nope. You would think it's intimidating. I've had people tell me I'm intimidating. I am intimidating, and I'm like, I haven't even said anything. What are you talking about? All I did was come in this restaurant and sit down with you. Okay, we having a drink, and just because I'm asking you questions and just having an intellectual conversation, all of a sudden I intimidated you. Like, what is going on with y'all? Like, what are we talking about around here? So it's truly like.
What is your stance, if you don't mind me asking, like for a man, right? Like what must he have? What's some deal breakers for you? Does he have to be? Because everything is put into boxes and categories now. Where I've heard this 6'6" rule, and I was like, man, that's demonic.
Yeah,
but he got to be 6 feet, make six figures, and have a minimum of 6 inches of And I was just like, what? First of all, you don't even know how that is because you don't find that out until you're married. But anyway, who you around? The NBA? Because that's the only people you're gonna be around where everybody's 6 feet or taller. The average man is like 5'7", 5'8". So I don't know where you getting this 6 foot. Yeah, I don't know. But what's some deal breakers for you?
At this age and stage, I mean, I'm 47.
47.
So I'm 47.
Black don't crack.
Yeah, I am 47. My daughter would be 33. So
oh, yeah, you did say that. I didn't do the math then, but okay.
So it's like I need spiritual connection.
Okay.
I feel like we as a society, and even I will say women, we have to a certain extent made it easier for the man to make choices about our lives. And what I mean by that is, let's say you meet somebody and they're not prepared to get married. You want to get married, but they're not prepared to get married. They want to date and play the field. Instead of us being like, nah, we're like, oh, well, I understand. Let's just date. Let's just keep it open. Let's just see how this goes.
So it's dating without
obligation. So
you saying if I get into a relationship with you, like, look, we, like old term, right? We go together. This is us. You ain't going to date no other women. It's me and that's it. Okay, got you.
Yeah, I need, it's me and that's it. But then also I need you to have a spiritual foundation with yourself.
Amen to that.
We put so much emphasis, I think as Americans, we put more emphasis on money. We put more emphasis on status. We put zero emphasis on spiritual development. Where are you at in your inside? Because guess what? If you can't pray for us, then you're going to be like Job's wife. And I don't need Job's wife next to me. I need someone who's going to, hey, you know God better than I know God, and he know you so close to God that you can just say something and you feel it. But like have that spiritual connection, because if you could tap into my spirit where God is, everything else lines up. I don't want to repeat failures. People have so much pain and trauma that they refuse to deal with. People are scared to go and seek therapy. People are like, oh, I'm going to figure it out on my own. And then you want to get into a relationship and now it's toxic. Yeah,
you got all this undealt with baggage, stuff that you need to get taken to the garbage, and you still carrying it around.
So marriage is not going to work, right? Yeah. You can't bring trash into a marriage where you're talking about creating a future.
We got a lot of trauma bonding. And I even thought, I brought this up to my wife. We've been together since we were 16 years old. So we have a great deal of trauma bonding that has taken place in our relationship. And some things we still working through. We've been married going on 13 years in May. And we've been together for 21 years total.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we got a lot of history, and we've grown up together. And so when we didn't know what to do and didn't have a plan, we was just figuring it out. And so our situation is a little unique and out of the norm. But there's a lot of people that's willing to trauma bond. and they know, like, they trauma bonded. And I was like, well, this person got these issues. You might either want to wait until that person starts to deal with those things instead of jumping into a relationship with them right now.
Yeah. I mean, but we painted this picture of, you can't be alone. Loneliness is bad.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking of it as this is an opportunity and a time for me to really figure me out, some of us just jump into the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah.
Because we want to be with someone and we don't want you to be alone.
Yeah.
So all I do is take the baggage from the last into the next and so on and so forth. And it continues to be a repeating cycle of failure, relationships not working, because again, we've made it easier to date and coexist than to marry and thrive.
So 3 questions, and then we can move on. One is, are you currently, like, open to a relationship? Okay, fellas. Trying to throw y'all a little alley-oop there. Second question is what environments are you looking for men? I think that's a question that I've talked to a lot of men and women, is like they want this certain type of woman or a certain type of man, and I'm like, well, you want a spirit-led man. Like, well, do you go to church? Or are you at the club? Like, where you at? You know what I'm saying? And so that's one question, is where do you find those type of men that won't be intimidated by you and that is spirit-filled? Because, we know we can go to church, but, like, outside, that's only on Sundays. And then sometimes it's not even the best environment to, like, give them a little hint, like, I see you. And then I don't forgot my third question, but you can answer those 2 while I think of my third question. Yeah, go ahead.
So the environment, I couldn't even tell you nowadays. Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know, Derek. I don't even know, like, what environment to be in, because now you have so many people who are, like, staying in a house, or they are staying secluded away. Like, before COVID, everybody was social. It was, you can go out on the beach and go play volleyball and run into somebody at a restaurant and just have, like, good conversations. But now people are not quick to speak. People are not quick to socialize. People surely are not quick to share. Okay. Like, why are you asking me so many questions? It's like, no, I'm just trying to have a conversation and just interested in knowing more about you.
Yeah.
But I feel like because there have been so many walls put up and so much trauma behind them walls, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. And I am all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do all kinds of stuff with my veteran groups and with the community and just on my own. So I am at that stage of, look, I couldn't even tell you what the ideal man should be like, because there's so many different ones. I think on the bigger piece for me,
I don't think it's an ideal man. I think it's a man that God has made for you. Yes. And that man needs to be able to meet, those needs for you.
Yes.
Not for every other woman, which I think is a whole nother podcast. But what movies and Hollywood and all these podcasts and all this stuff, and even the adult industry that have put these false expectations on what we think a woman is supposed to be or what a man is supposed to be. And it's like, hey, like, I look at my wife and I'm like, my wife is made for me, right? And so I am able to handle my wife. Another man not made for her, he ain't able to handle you. Made for who you made for.
Yeah.
So we need to stop, like, comparing and thinking through these things. Well, I never let my wife do this and that, or I deal with this and this way. It's like, you don't even know, because you probably are never going to be in that situation. But even if you were, like, like, life be life and life happens. And so we could say a lot of, like, well, if I was to do this, I'll handle it this way. But you don't know until it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's right there. And so we've had to deal with, the death of children, and I'm literally holding a baby while this baby is in my hand taking his last breath. And this is like, we can always think about what we would do in that moment. But in that moment, man, my mind is blank. I don't know. All I know is that I'm being here in the moment with my wife. And I don't know if that requires me to speak words of encouragement or just to hold her or just to be present. I don't know. But yeah, we think about all these things and we compare ourselves, and it's like, well, God made me to be who I am for my wife. And everybody has their, their person or what they think, it is. And but yeah, man, we gotta put ourselves out there. Well, the dating world, people that I know that are not dating, it's like, how you expect to find a wife and you ain't going nowhere?
And I think you need to be clear on what you want as well.
Yeah.
There's a difference between, I feel like the character of a man who wants a wife is going to be completely different from the character of a man who is trying to just experiment with what's going on out there. So when you know you want a wife, then that means you've taken the time to invest in you and making yourself the husband that she would need. When a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So the man must be assured of himself and what he brings to the table. Yeah. So then when he meets that woman, it is an addition. It is the blessing that he's been asking and praying for.
Yeah. So, fellas, I'm trying to help y'all out again. I'm going to ask her a couple questions. So, you looking for a man, right? Does he have to make a certain amount of money? No? Okay. So, what else? Adam, you got some questions? I know you got some questions, bro. I know you got add some stuff to this. I'm trying to think. Clearly has to be a man that is in church.
Got to be a man of faith, yes. He has to be seeking God's heart on a regular basis. Okay. What else? What's some other good qualifications? Trying to help these brothers out, man. I'm so tired of brothers talking about some they alone, and I'm just. He needs to be secure in himself and have taken the time to process and grow beyond his pain. I think when we think of men, the perception is you're supposed to be strong and unbreakable, and your chest is big and you can conquer the world. And it's like, no, I need you to have some feelings.
And I ain't trying to conquer the world.
Okay.
So emotionally intelligent.
Say it again.
Emotionally intelligent.
Emotionally intelligent. My pastor talked about emotional resilience, emotional intelligence, and emotional, how did he say it? Like stability in so many ways. So making it to where you're able to guard your heart and your mind and tame your mouth, so that regulation piece of it, you have self-control.
Yeah.
You know how to be self-control.
Yeah.
Because you have to see yourself as us. When we're talking about marriage, it's not the idea of I can go out and buy this house and it's does this benefit us?
Yeah.
Instead of benefiting me. So when you can tap into that, the more sound you are with you, the better we can be. We can start dealing with things coming up in the future instead of us wasting time processing the past.
That's good. That's a bar right there. You on date naps?
No
date naps. Stay away from date naps. I think date naps are designed to keep single people on there.
Okay.
They don't make any money or they don't benefit for people finding love and then getting off of the app. I'm trying to think. What else? I don't know. I can't think of nothing right now. But church, she don't care about your bank account. Just be secure. Just be doing something. Don't be living in your mom's basement, right?
Not at all.
This is a mature woman, right? She ain't looking for a project, right? Like know who you are, be moving towards something. And if you're in your 40s, you should definitely be at a place in your life where you know where you're going. You got a plan. You're working through the plan, stuff like that.
What's your age range?
So I would say, it's a great question because I've dated older people, like I think I've dated someone who before was like 20 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
You know, so right now, I guess I would probably say 55 would be like my cutoff.
The cutoff? Okay.
Yeah, 55 would be my cutoff.
All right. Well, listen. Go into the comments and just type your name if you're interested, and we'll. I'm gonna be vetting people. I'm like,
Thank you.
Accepting
Okay.
boyfriend applications, husband applications.
husband applications.
Husband.
Oh man, man, this has been great. This great. I got to know so many things about you that I never knew before. Yeah, you never know who's serving for 2 years next to this person, and you never know what you don't know. And so this has been really good. What's some encouragement that you would give to a young woman that is in your situation, or a situation that you were in where they have a kid, they're trying to figure this out, or they're dealing with some tension in the workplace, being a woman, being black, whatever it is? What's some encouragement that you would have for them?
I would say, I guess first I would say, take time for you. As women, I feel like we are so quick to give everybody else us, and less quick to give us. And being a mother on top of that, that's even, 10 times harder, because now we have been taught that once you become a mother, you no longer matter. And it's like, no, you're really the most important piece in this right now, because without you,
Right.
there is no them.
Yeah.
So take time to get you together. Take time for you. Even if that's late at night when everybody's in bed, take time for you.
Yeah.
Also, I would say my prayer life is strong. I've been through a lot, and I know it was nobody but God that got me here. So invest in that relationship with God. We talk about faith, we talk about hope, we talk about walking a good walk, but it's now time to apply. It's time to actually do and be. So while we're trying to appease the world, the actual focus should be more on appeasing God, because God controls the world. Mm-hmm. And if I do my part, then I know he's going to do his. So being consistent in that. And I guess the last thing would be, if the relationship isn't working, just say no. Become stronger in your no. And it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't feel guilty for saying no, because you deserve the best. If God says I'm his treasure, I'm his child, all things are working together for my good, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. If that is what he says, I need to start saying it. I need to start repeating those words, because they're true. They are valid. They've come through generation after generation, decades after decades. So start walking in that.
That's great. That was some bars in there. I'm gonna rewatch this, and you'll see some stuff on the shirt. Make sure you get your percentage. Oh man! If somebody wanted to work with you or partner with you, where can they reach you?
I would say the best thing to do would be sending me an email. I'm at Crain Toya at gmail.com. That's CrainToya at gmail.com. I am also up at the 15th District Police Station a lot. So in their CAPS office, everybody in there knows me, the community policing office. Somebody would be able to get in contact with me that way as well. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this has been great, man. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to come and hang out with me and being able to share your story, your experience with the world. I am excited to have women like you serving in this community, and my prayer is that the Lord would continue to use you and people like you to, man, impact this community for the better, man. I was driving through here yesterday, and it was really nice out. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of foolishness happening, and I really had to check my heart because I was just like, why I got to be over here right now? But then it was just like, if I'm here, it's for a reason. And it was for a reason. We literally was having Bible study, about to have Bible study. And I was like, man, we just got to get up and start really praying and being the hands and feet of Jesus. Because it's one thing to pray, but it's another thing. We got to put action behind our prayers, right? We should seek to be the change that we want to see in the world. We need to become that change ourselves. And so man, I just appreciate you and everything you're doing, still serving at Slam. And are you still in the high schools as well?
So I have not been this year, but that's just because we're focusing on the Austin 1-5 Youth Alliance.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a big project within the Austin community where we were able to bring youth from multiple different organizations collectively as one unit, and the group is working on designing safe spaces throughout the community. So
safe spaces as in places where they can go, or
places and events. So like the first event they're going to have, which is Monday on the 21st, they called it SPA, and SPA stands for Safe Place Away. So they have designed a number of different activity workshops that they are hosting, they are leading. So I'm excited for that. Excited to be a part of that and help support them in any way I can.
Yeah, that's great. I'm pulling up too.
Please.
I'm pulling up. So, man, this has been good. I could probably sit here all day, but I want to be a respecter of your time. And so we're going to let you get out of here. But if you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. I have her email in the description. And then, fellas, drop your names, and then we're going to vet you. Everybody ain't going to get a chance to shoot their shot. So, but I'll keep y'all posted. But thank you so much for coming on the channel. To the next one, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.
Thank you.